Just recently, I upgraded from my $300 Honda 185 to a $400 Honda 500. But before I can turn it into a true dual sport assassin, I'm gonna have to put a new chain and sprocket on there. Check it out. If you don't know anything about dirt bike chains, just take my word for it. This thing is toast. It is absolutely unusable. And since I got to replace that, I'm going to go ahead and take the back tire off and replace the rear sprocket while I'm at it. Taking the chain off is smooth sailing. All you have to do is find the clip for the master link, pop it off with a good whack from a screwdriver, then the whole thing just falls apart, and then you should be able to take the chain right out, as long as the bike's in neutral anyway. Getting the back tire off is just as easy. All you have to do is remove the brake linkage, the chain, and the spindle nut, and it should come right out. Getting the sprocket off is simple too. It's held onto the hub by 6 cap screws that are through bolted. Just gotta remove them and then give it a couple of little love taps with the hammer. Nothing to whack it too hard, we're really just trying to break the dirt loose that's been on there for years. You'll notice that I'm putting on a larger sprocket than the one that came off. The reason being is I'm more interested in low-end grunt for the dirt than I am for high top speed on the street. This larger rear sprocket will help me achieve that objective. Fortunately, my inexpensive eBay rear sprocket fits on just like the old one, so assembly is exactly the opposite of removal. Once we get the rear sprocket on and we get the back tire mounted again, it's time to thread the chain through. And again, you're gonna want your bike in neutral for this. This isn't gonna be the final installation anyway, but there isn't really a trick to installing the chain. Just spin the tire, slowly feed the chain through, and eventually you'll be able to get it right as long as you have everything aligned properly. Obviously this chain is too long, so we're going to have to bust out the chain breaker, but the way I have it laid out here, you're able to see which pin you have to knock out. Take note that I'm removing an entire link because this particular chain did not come with an offset master link. Before breaking the chain, we have to remove the peen that's on the pin. And the peen is basically just crushing the pin so it won't be able to come out of the chain while you're using it. So we have to use the grinder in order to get the peen off so we can punch the pin out. Once the pin is prepped, it's time to install the chain breaker. A chain breaker is really just a mechanical press that's designed specifically for punching pins out of chains. The chain breaker works pretty well. You would expect it to work a little bit better, but you know, you can get these things for less than 10 bucks, so you get what you pay for. Once it starts getting really easy to turn, you know that the pin's almost all the way out. And as soon as you remove the chain breaker, the chain should just fall and you should have exactly the length that you need. Once you get the chain cut down to length, it's not really a tricky process to get it put together, but if you're a visual learner like me, it's going to help you a lot to see it. So here we go. With the chain in place, the missing link is called a master link, and it's comprised of 3 different pieces. One is an outer plate with 2 pins, one is just an outer plate, and then to hold everything together, we have a clip. All you have to do is attach the 2 sides of the chain with the pins, put the outer plate on top of everything, and then put the clip on top of that to hold it all together. And then you're ready to set tension. One thing that is worth mentioning is that I really enjoy taking this thing out and riding it on the street. I haven't had a street bike in a long time, mostly because I don't have the best track record with street bikes, but I've seriously enjoyed taking this thing out on the country roads. It's not something I want to get in the habit of, and it's certainly not the perfect bike for that application, but while I have it, I'm going to enjoy it a little bit. It didn't take me long to figure out that adding 5 teeth to the rear sprocket definitely achieved my objective pretty well. I seriously castrated the top end speed of this bike, but I'm getting a whole lot more grunt out of it. I think it's going to do pretty well on the dirt, but to be completely honest, since the last time you guys saw this bike, I still haven't really decided if I'm going to keep it or not. I'm kind of notorious for whenever I have the opportunity to make money on something, I tend to pull the trigger on that, but I really need to find a bike that I like and just hold on to it. And to do that, I'm really going to have to take this thing out on the dirt and just put it to work. And hopefully I'll be able to do that soon, and I'll be able to tell you guys whether or not I actually like riding it. But I can tell you already that I'm not a huge fan of starting it, and the brakes really suck. But you never know, it might be exactly what I need. Only one way to find out, right?